Is murder wrong? Now, everyone has a sense of right and wrong, but we disagree on what right and wrong actually is, right? Like if you have your version of right and wrong and you have yours and I have mine and you have yours, how do we know what's right and wrong? The only way we can know if something's right or wrong is if there is a God there who tells us, who made us and who tells us. Otherwise, it's just opinion. Big deal. But there is a God there who has told us, and we know what is right and wrong. We know murder is wrong. Hang on a minute. Is murder wrong? Is murder always wrong? No?
Pedophile, like you can die, like
Oh, okay, right. So murder, when is murder okay?
It depends on what you define murder to be. Depends on what you define murder.
Murder is deliberately taking someone else's life.
But it depends on what context and when you think life begins and all. Because if you think life begins at conception, well, abortion is right. So that murder's okay. If that's what you think is murder, that's okay.
So you're saying let me get this right.
Yep.
If life begins at conception, which biologists say it does,
Yep.
Abortion is okay?
Yep.
If life begins at conception, murdering that child is okay because it's right. This is a moral claim by someone who has no basis for morality whatsoever. Wow, this really made me take a step back. I really didn't know what to do with this.
Why? I'm not following the argument.
Why is it okay?
Yeah.
If someone doesn't want to be pregnant, they don't have to be.
Why is it okay? If someone doesn't want to be pregnant, they don't have to be. You can do whatever you want, including murder. That's essentially what she's saying. But it's not really an argument, it's really a statement of preference.
Okay, right. If I have someone in my life who's inconvenient, I should just get rid of them.
Not the same.
It's not the same. That's interesting, isn't it? You see, the thing is, there are many people who would say, yes, if someone is in the womb, they don't have a right to life, right? Especially if the mother considers them an inconvenience, right? Which is spurred on a lot by things that go on in society.
Like I'm just saying, like, there's kind of a problem with abortion. Like I don't like abortion, but the thing is, see, like kind of forcing someone to be a war, like it's just, it can.
So forcing someone to be a mother? That's pushing it a bit. What about forcing someone to die? Is that okay? Because that's what's being said, that it is okay to force someone to die if they are inconvenient to the wishes of the mother.
The thing is, abortion, not only is it the murder of a child, whom we say is not actually really human in the same way Hitler said the Jews weren't human, which gave him the right to kill them, because, well, they're not human. If something's not human and is therefore inconvenient, we get rid of them.
That's not the same.
But
So again, she uses this statement, it's not the same. But we'll see from what she says that it is exactly the same.
But the thing is,
They've contributed to society, and if someone is using you without your consent, essentially as an incubator, you do not need to do that. You do not need.
well,
Those people lived and they contributed to society. What she's saying is that babies don't live and they don't contribute to society, and therefore they don't have a right to life. But of course, you can't murder someone who's not alive, so the fact that they're alive is just plain for everyone to see. And she would agree with that herself, really, if she was thinking about it. But she's saying they haven't contributed to society. This is a eugenic position. This is exactly what the Nazis were all about. And when it comes to the Jews in Nazi Germany, their contribution to society was seen as something negative. Like an unwanted child in the womb is seen as something negative. So it is actually the same.
But the thing
People
is,
lived and contributed to society, and if someone is using you without your consent, essentially as an incubator, you do not need to do that. You do not need to.
well,
Being used as an incubator without your consent. No. A child is dependent on the mother, caring for it, not drinking, not smoking during the pregnancy, and certainly not murdering them. It is astounding at just how arrogant this position is and how murderous and how evil. So when it comes down to it, it's not her opinion or my opinion that matters on the subject. Our opinions are the wrong things to look at. The real question here is, does God exist and has he spoken? If God exists and he has spoken, that's where the answer to the question is. Is murder right? Well, if God is there and he says murder is wrong, it is wrong. If God is not there, or if he's there and he just hasn't spoken to us, then we have no basis for morality on any level whatsoever. And therefore, morally speaking, it doesn't matter. Just do whatever you pragmatically want to do, because it just doesn't matter. Our opinions are irrelevant.
the thing about it is, if there's no God, it doesn't matter one way or the other, right? It just doesn't matter. If God exists and he has spoken, then it does matter, because he tells us what's right or wrong, and he says it's wrong. But
So we see now in the next bit what God has done by, instead of taking life, giving his own life for us, setting the example of sacrificial living and dying, not selfish murder.
in my country, where he is the king, he's taken care of this problem, right? And he took care of it 2,000 years ago on a cross outside Jerusalem where the rubbish was kept. You have?
I have indeed.
Oh, right, I haven't. Anyway, here he paid the penalty for everything we do that's wrong that would keep us out of his kingdom, right? And everybody does, because we're all pretty much the same. We do different things, but we're all in rebellion to the king. Interestingly enough, this is the term that the Roman governor had put on top of the cross, that that Jesus was the king of the Jews. And they mocked him. Yes, a lot of people mocked him. Some didn't. Some were really concerned because they knew who he was. But he died on the cross to wipe out your debt. Well, that's debatable. It doesn't actually say that. But that's the Apostles' Creed says that, but it doesn't say that in the Bible, interestingly enough. But what he did was, by the power of the blood he shed, for everyone who turns to him, he wiped that out. He paid for your sin. You've heard that before, right? For all of it, regardless of what you've done, or are planning to do, or will do in whatever years you got left. So he died. They took him down off the cross. They buried him in a tomb, put a big rock in front of it. And on the third day, the ladies came to the tomb, and what did they find? An empty tomb. He wasn't there. He broke the power of death. If Jesus came back from the dead, what does that mean? If he did. Pardon?
That's true.
No, if he came back from the dead, it means it is true. If he didn't come back from the dead, it means it's not true.
Okay.
So this particular thing is really important, okay? It's very, very important. If he came back from the dead, what does it mean? Okay, one is, it's true. What else? It means several things.
Yeah.
It means he beat death. Death is not the end. Okay, that which is good news. Let him go past so that you don't experience death too early.
We gotta go. Thank you very much for that.
Take care. So, on the cross, he pays for your treachery, right? When he comes back from the dead, it says everyone who turns to him is credited with his righteousness, is given his goodness. So, God does not see you with your debt,
Yeah, but there's
but with the
hell
goodness of
there's
Jesus.
a lot of different